Okay. Okay, let's start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jyaudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, chapter 31, verse number 13. So whoever wants to read the verse, could raise your hand, please. Am I audible? Is it hand? Am I audible? Okay,
Yes,
Madhubai
Mataji.
Mataji.
Properly. Yes.
Thank you. Madhubai Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shreyasamapi sarvesham Atma Hyavadirarthataha. Sarvesham api bhutanam Harir Atma Atmadaha Priyaha. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Chitra Mohini Mataji. Chitra Mohini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shreyasamapi sarvesham Atma avadi artataha. Sarveshamapi bhutanam Hariratma Atmada Priyaha. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you. Ayushi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna everybody. Pranam. Shreyasham api sarvesham Atma haya avadhir arthada. Sarvesham api bhutanam Harir Atmatmadaha Priyaha. Thank you very
Thank you.
much, Mataji.
Vijay Kumar Mataji. Vijay Kumari Mataji, sorry.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी श्रेयसामपि सर्वेषाम् आत्मा हि अवतिर्अर्थदः सर्वेषामपि भूतानां हरि आत्मात्मद प्रियः हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you. Prafulla Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी श्रेयं सम अपि सर्वेषाम् आत्मा हि अभितिष्ठतः सर्वेषाम् अपि भूतानां हरिर आत्मात्मा आद प्रियः. हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Thank you. Sujata Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी श्रेयशाम अपि सर्वेषाम् आत्मा हि अविधिर् अर्थात् सर्वेषाम् अपि भूतानां मामप्यः.
Thank you. Surya Prakasha Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji and pranams. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shreyasamapi sarvesham Atma Hyavadi Raddhataha. Sarveshamapi bhutanam Hariratma Atmada Priyaha. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Shubha Rao Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Shreyasamapi sarvesham Atma hi avadhirarthataha Sarveshamapi bhutanam Harihi Atmatmada Priyaha.
Thank you. P. Pushpam Prabhu. Mataji. P. Pushpam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. श्रेयसामपि सर्वेषाम् आत्मा हि अवतिर्अर्थदः सर्वेषामपि भूतानां हरिरात्मात्मदप्रियः. Hare
Thank
Krishna
you
Mataji.
much. Okay, last one. Uma Kulkarni Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Shreyasam api sarvesham atma hi avadhi artata sarvesham api bhutanam hari atmatmada priya. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Shreya Sham of auspicious activities. Api certainly. Sarvesham all. Atma the self. He certainly. Avadhi destination. Arthataha factually. Sarvesham of all. Api certainly. Bhutanam living entities. Hari the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Atma the super soul. Atmadaha who can give us our original identity. Priyaha, very dear. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Ki Jai. Factually, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original source of all self-realization. Consequently, the goal of all auspicious activities, karma, jnana, yoga, and bhakti, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The living entity is the marginal energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the material world is the external energy. Under the circumstances, one must understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is factually the source of both matter and spirit. This is explained in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, verse 4 to 5. Bhumirapo analo vayu khammanu buddhire vacha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakritirashtada aparayam itaste anyam prakritim viddhi me param jiva bhuta nam mahabaho yayedham dharyate jagat. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these 8 comprise my separated material energies. But besides this inferior nature, O mighty armed Arjun, there is a superior energy of mind, which consists of all living entities, who are struggling with the material world, material nature, and sustaining the universe. The entire cosmic manifestation is but a combination of matter and spirit. The spiritual part is the living entity, and these living entities are described as Prakriti or energy. The living entity is never described as Purusha, the Supreme Person. Therefore, to identify the living entity with the Supreme Lord is simply ignorance. The living entity is the marginal potency of the Supreme Lord, although there is factually no difference between the energy and the energetic. The duty of the living entity is to understand his real identity. When he does, Krishna gives him all the facilities to come to the platform of devotional service. That is the perfection of life. This is indicated in the Vedic Upanishad. Yam evesha vrinute tena labhyas tasyesa atma vivirnutyatanum swam. Lord Krishna confirms this in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse 10. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. The conclusion is that one must come to the platform of Bhakti Yoga, even though one may begin with Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Ashtanga Yoga. Unless one comes to the platform of Bhakti Yoga, self-realization or realization of the absolute truth cannot be achieved. Om Jnantimirandasya Jnananjan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna, Karna Sindhu, Deen Bandhu, Jagat Pate, Gopesha, Gopika Kantha, Radha Kanta Namaste. Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vishvanuste Devi, Pranamami Hari Priya. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gaurvani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatarine. Krishna. Translation. Factually, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original source of all self-realization. Consequently, the goal of all auspicious activities, karma, jnana, yoga, and bhakti, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, we're reading from 4th Canto Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Creation of the Fourth Order. Chapter number 31. What is the name of the chapter again, which we are reading now?
Narad Muni
instructs
instructs
the
the
Prachetas.
Prachetas.
Narad Muni instructs the Prachetas. And these are, who is speaking this verse? To who?
Narad Muni.
Narad Muni is speaking to Prachetas.
Narad Muni.
And what makes him speak this verse? What makes Narad Muni speak this?
Maitreya Muni is speaking to Vidura.
No, this Narad Muni is speaking to Prachetas. What makes Narad Muni speaks this to Prachetas?
The
Because
Prachetas
Prachetas
asked for instructions.
Yes.
The inquiries of the Prachetas.
What Prem Prakash Adas Prabhu?
It is the inquiries of the Prachetas which Narad Muni is now answering, the instructions.
Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, so the inquiry of the Prachetas that Narad Muni is answering. And the question is that we were instructed by Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva themselves on the process of self-realization, but we still found ourselves attached in the family affairs. Now, how do we come back and reestablish ourselves in the pure devotional service of Krishna? And Narad Muni is preaching. So far, we saw his unique style of preaching of, what is not bhakti, how not to attract Krishna. And now he's going to change gears and he's like, okay, Krishna, why only Krishna? Why not someone else? Why bhakti only means Krishna? Why not, any other demigod or any other human being? Why only Krishna? The answer is here because he is the original source of all self-realization. There is a concept of cause and effect. I don't know if it is like directly applicable here, but cause and effect, this appears in Bhagavad Gita also, 13th chapter, right? Cause and effect. So the cause is always present in the effect, but we are not able to see the cause always. You can see the immediate cause. Let's say somebody has a bad accident and they get injured. So we can see immediate cause of the injury is the accident, but we cannot see the remote cause, that what made this happen. Remote cause, even in this material sphere of domain of existence, we cannot see the remote cause, but we can understand that the cause is present in the effect. Okay, so like that, if somebody is getting self-realized, the effect of their tapasya or penance or austerity is that they're becoming self-realized. What should be the cause behind it? The original cause is Krishna and end also is Krishna. Remember Om Tat Sat in 17th chapter. What does Om Tat Sat mean? Krishna explains. You could raise your hand or put it in the chat. What does Om Tat Sat mean in 17th chapter? Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Prafulla Mataji. What does Om mean? What does Tat mean? What does Sat mean?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Tat Sat is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth.
What does it mean? What does Om mean? What does Tat mean? What does Sat mean?
Om is the first cause of to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Very nice, thank you. Anyone else? What does Om Tat Sat mean? Am I audible? Because my computer is acting funny too today.
Yes, Mataji, you are audible.
Okay, thank you very much. So what does Om Tat Sat mean? Surekha Mataji. Where is she? Nobody. Yes, Mataji.
Om is the indicator of Supreme Personality of Godhead. We we indicate Om for him. Then Tat is absolute truth. Tat is absolute
All
truth.
right, we
And
should
Sat
not.
is eternal. Yeah, I don't.
All right, thank you. So Om Tat Sat, any absolute truth, any activity that is done in service to Krishna has to be done with these words. Krishna explains Om Tat Sat after explaining the whole chapter of what are the different kinds of foods in three modes of material nature, what are the different kinds of charity, penance, austerities, right, or different kinds of material modes of nature, and what is in goodness, passion, ignorance. But then he says at the end, one has to transcend the Om, one has to transcend the three modes of material nature. And how does one do that? By the syllable Om Tat Sat. So Om refers to beginning of an activity, which is eternal. So which is offered to the eternal. Beginning of an activity has to be done with the Om. Tat means performance of an activity. Tattvam Asi, Chandogya Upanishad, Prabhupada explains, which is that performance of the activity has to be done for the eternal, for Krishna. Sat means the result of the activity has to be offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it becomes eternal. So by doing the activity, then the performer becomes eternal, the activity becomes eternal, and also the result of the activity or the fruit of the activity is also eternal. Basically, that is the life of complete eternity with Supreme Personality of Godhead, where there is no time factor. Okay, so where the cause and effect are factually one. We can see that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is present in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. Okay, but here, what is the difference in karma, jnana, and yoga? Or a yoga here refers to Ashtanga yoga. So karma, jnana, yoga, Krishna is not present in the beginning of an activity. All right, Krishna may not be present in the performance of the activity. Krishna is always present at the end of the activity, but it should all culminate in bhakti yoga. Then only these karma, jnana, and yoga have the meaning. Little technical, I don't want to become so technical, but you must understand that what makes Krishna say that he's the original source of all self-realization. People are adopting different modes of self-realization, right? Some is adopting the pathway of karma yoga, some jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, or bhakti yoga. So, but where is it coming from? What is the common denominator? And if karma yoga is not reaching to bhakti yoga, then karma yoga in itself is not perfect source of realization. If Jnana Yoga is not reaching to Bhakti Yoga, it is also not the source of complete self-realization. If Ashtanga Yoga is not reaching is not culminating in Bhakti Yoga or devotional service to Krishna, then it is also not the perfect path of self-realization. All right. So, in other words, Krishna is confirming that he is the source of both matter and spirit. It's not that Krishna is only present at the end of my activity. It's not that, okay, I have to work all month long in the office and have to pay for my paycheck, and then I can go to Krishna and give it. It's not like that. Krishna is present everywhere. He's present when I'm working. He's present when I'm getting the paycheck. He's also present when I'm going to give the donation to the temple. All right, so that's bhakti. That vision is bhakti. So in that way, 1 second, Prem Prakash Haridas Prabhu. In that way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is confirming that everything, matter and spirit, is coming from me. But the only difference is that the material energy is my separated energy. It's not like my, it's not resting on my body. It's separated. It's separated in the sense, for example, Prabhupada gives an example when he's recording on the microphone. And then he says that when people will hear this recording later, they will not see me, but they will hear my voice, which is my separated energy. Okay, it's not me, but it's my voice which is recorded. But so in that same way, when we look at this world around us, when we look at our mind, our intelligence, or when we reflect on our false ego, understand that this is Krishna's separated energy. We have got the sample everywhere. But it is Krishna's energy. Okay, so if energy is Krishna's, then it has to be utilized for Krishna. Very simple logic. Srila Prabhupada gives example, if there is a carpenter, and the carpenter is carving out a very nice wooden piece for somebody else, at the end, when he or she carves out the wooden piece, can he claim that because I have carved it out, it is my energy, it is for me? Can he claim that?
No, Mataji.
No, no.
Even though he or she are the one who have worked on it, they still cannot claim that it is theirs. Like that, even though I might be using the mind, I might be using the intelligence, I might be using, my body might be made of all these elements of earth, water, fire, air, ether, but I still cannot say that this is mine. Still, like, as much as a carpenter cannot say that this particular item that I have carved out is mine because I have carved it. No. Because I'm cleaning the body, because I'm feeding the body, because I'm utilizing the body to go here and there, still it doesn't become mine. So that is like, different stages of self-realization. Maybe I'm mixing it up, but there are different stages. This is called Jnana, what I'm telling you, like introspect and figure out what's what. But what happens with the Jnanis is that they get very confused with the jugglery of words. They don't really culminate in Krishna. But a bhakta or a devotee of Krishna is already a Jnana yogi. A devotee of Krishna is already a karma yogi. A devotee of Krishna is already doing the perfect yogic process of yam, niyam, pratyahar, the sense, the restraining of the senses, the discipline, external, internal discipline. So it's already happening because one is trying to be a bhakta yogi. So in any logic, in any way, we analyze, Krishna consciousness still holds the superior most position in any aspect of self-realization, in any way of self-realization. So there is no confusion. People get confused because they get attracted to, let's say, knowledge, or they get attracted to different physical activities in Ashtanga Yoga, or austerities attract people. Some people get really, really attracted to austerities, severe austerities, right? In Ashtanga Yoga, there's severe austerities prescribed. But the problem is that we just get attracted to these things, but we don't really get to the end point, which is Krishna. So we fall short. Then what? If someone is sincere, then Krishna gives the knowledge. That's what Prabhupada is ending the purport. That to those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So our gauge, or our validation of progress in Krishna consciousness depends on how sincere I am. How sincere I am in my own journey in Krishna consciousness. Am I being lazy? Catch yourself. It's a good time because you have knowledge, and knowledge is required to sharpen the intelligence. We discussed it last time, right? Knowledge has its utility in sharpening the intelligence. So catch yourself. I'm being lazy. Catch yourself is I am being, wasting time. Not being lazy, but not being practicing or utilizing my energy and time in Krishna consciousness. Or catch yourself when when you're speculating and not really giving reference to the shastras. Catch yourself when your heart is saying that, okay, I'm seeking honor from others, but externally I may be putting up a different kind of a face. Catch yourself. And that sincerity of catching oneself will attract Krishna's attention, and then Krishna will give understanding that this person is sincere. Because understand that Narad Muni is trying to say that Krishna is the original source of all self-realization. Don't think one has to, one has to go through Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Ashtanga Yoga to reach Bhakti Yoga. One can directly come to Bhakti Yoga, but the end point of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Ashtanga Yoga is Bhakti Yoga. If we are not reaching at the end point of Bhakti Yoga, then then these activities are not very virtuous in themselves. The attractive force is Krishna. Okay. The attraction is over there, that am I going a step near to the Supreme Personality of Godhead or not? And you will know. You will know whether I'm going or whether I'm not going. Prem Prakash Adas Prabhu, you wanted to say something.
Hare Krishna Mataji. No, just a little addition to whatever you just explained so well. There's a very good analogy where Jnana Yoga, Stanga Yoga, and the Karma Yoga, it is like staircases, but it stops somewhere. It doesn't lead right up to the lotus feet of the Lord. It's only the elevator. So whatever staircases you climb and juggle hard to go through it, ultimately you're not going to reach the lotus feet of the Lord because the staircases stop short of it. It's only the elevator that crosses between the gap between these staircases and the lotus feet of the Lord. And that elevator is the Bhakti Yoga. This made me understand very well. So I thought I'll just share that analogy.
Very nice.
Hare Krishna
Thank you very much, Krishna. Okay, any questions, reflections, realizations, corrections?